Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment if you want to. Um, okay, so Christian Brueckner, who is the prime suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann from way back in '07, I think. A German prosecutor, Hans Christian Wolters, believes Madeleine was snatched, abused, and quickly murdered. It's kind of what we all were thinking. Uh, so Brueckner was in the small town of Paroled before she went missing. He found a job as a waiter, and this town was like 64 kilometers from Praia de Luz, which was the resort where she was taken from. Now, he befriended a German couple that looked after foster children, often staying at their house, putting the mouse in charge of the cheese. Now, the police, Portuguese police, have not visited the village to question possible witnesses, and I don't know why they wouldn't. The residents there, even though they feared him because he ran around with guns, and I thought those were illegal there, but maybe back then they weren't. They thought he was kind of out there. But he led a search party to find a teenage girl who ran away from the foster home in the summer of '07 and found her in a nearby town. The girl was pregnant when she was returned, and she left the area soon after. Now, the night before he was abducted, he told an ex-girlfriend he had a horrible job to do in the area of the resort. What kind of horrible job? Who told him about this? Why, did he know ahead of time what he was going to do? That almost sounds like a cry to say, please stop me from going there because I'm going to do something horrible. It's just my impression. I don't know. So after, a former friend now says he was definitely a pervert. This friend lived with him. His name was Michael Tatchell. And all his friends thought that, but they didn't think it involved children. The same friend says he knows Brueckner did it, took the child, and urged him to admit to it. Now, Tatchell lived with him at the time in the early 2000s, and they were both involved in criminal activity together. And inevitably, they stole diesel and did 8.5 months of jail time together, which upon release, this guy got out of there, and Maddie went missing 5 months later. One British ex said he seemed like the perfect gentleman at first. Opening the doors, he dressed in suits. Then he showed an abusive side. And a neighbor went into his former home in '06 after he was arrested for the diesel and found it filthy and full of bags with wigs and exotic clothing. Now, the ex thinks that this was for dressing up at parties. She thought he had a thing for older ladies, but never anything about children. So, in 2010, after he moved back to Germany, he bought a camper van, which was found full of swimwear and kids' clothes. Now, he doesn't have a kid, so yeah, where did all this come from? Yeah. So, his lawyers say he denies any involvement. That's normal, all lawyers say that. But they are trying to get him released on parole. But he still has charges for this rape of a 72-year-old woman, I think, in '07. I think it was '07, maybe sooner than that. But he still has those charges that he hasn't done time for. The prosecutors are saying that they fear he could flee, which is very true. He's been all over the place. Portugal to Germany, back and forth, and obviously went up to Belgium and met this other girl that was found murdered. So yeah, I think fleeing is a real good possibility. So they have passed the case on to Germany's federal court, and they will make a decision. And until this gets straightened out, I really hope that they will not let him go, because he will just go do it again. His history, 17 prior convictions, and a suspect in several disappearances and a murder, and you think he's safe to have out on the street? I don't think so. So we'll have to see what they decide to do, and just keep watching. Bye, guys.